I feel like I have made more progress in flamenco in the 2 weeks that I've been here than in the prior year of classes a couple times a month.
I'm Kristin Rutherford, and I'm a flamenco student in Portland, Oregon.
I would absolutely recommend it. You should do it. You would not regret it at all, and you would come out of it having grown in a lot of different ways, not just with flamenco, but in terms of the relationships that you build, and just in a lot of ways. Yeah, absolutely, you should do it. There's nothing I didn't enjoy. I think every single bit of it I enjoyed. I loved the technique classes with Mercedes, repetition of the basic technique. That was really, really helpful. The Boulerias class, I loved that for very different reasons. What was difficult for me or challenging for me at the beginning of the trip, by the end of the 2 weeks, was making sense. That was so important, I think, in learning timing, and I learned more, I think, about just the feel of flamenco by learning it that way than through the technique classes. So together, it was a really, really good balance. The other class that I really liked a lot was the Conte class. It was really helpful in kind of bringing everything together in terms of understanding the timing and kind of the stories of the songs. I think it was really helpful in terms of understanding, like, when you enter the dance and what you really need to be listening for, because you get that in the classes, but slowing down and going over that in a singing class environment, I think really helped solidify it for me. Yeah, I had no idea what I was getting into with the singing class, but it was a lot of fun. The instructors were all very different and delightful and appealing in their own ways. It was so helpful to have Laura in the classes to be able to translate, because instructors will look at you and they'll speak to you like you understand everything that they're saying, and like look you right in the eyes like you get this right, and I'm not getting any of it, but Laura's there to explain it to you, so you get it. So that was something that I enjoyed and just really appreciated. Just Laura, you seem to know everybody here in Jerez, so we can't go for a walk somewhere, without her running into somebody that she knows, or then knowing, where the shows are and who the dancers are and kind of what their style is and all of that. That traveling somewhere on my own, I would never have had that experience. I just loved the opportunity that, whether it was at 2 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 10 o'clock, you could find flamenco somewhere in the community. That there were people singing and dancing, or even 2 mornings ago at a cafe, like at 10 o'clock in the morning, there were a group of men at a table that just started doing palmas and singing. I just loved that you could walk down a street and see people doing palmas. Just seeing how embedded flamenco is into the culture, and having that opportunity to experience that was something that I just loved thoroughly about the trip. Our group of women on our trip, I think we had a great group of people. I was in a shared room situation and had 2 roommates. We were all very different in different backgrounds and had a great time together. I enjoyed every single person that was on this trip and learned something from every single one. A lot of people really loved the shopping. I did my share of that. And the flamenco shopping, the opportunity to get shoes here, to get shoes that are custom made for you, to get skirts that are custom made for you, or even off the rack things is, unlike what you'll find anywhere back home. The housing situation was really nice. We've got little apartments that are all within a 2 to 5 blocks of where you want to be. It's just a super, super walkable area. And I have just really loved not having to get behind the wheel of the car, just being able to walk someplace, and that it's so safe, to be able to walk home by myself at midnight and not worry about that is a great part of the experience here too. When I arrived here in Jerez, my flamenco experience had been a year, but not really a year, because I don't make it every week. So I say average out all the classes I've attended over the last year. It's probably more like 6 months of real experience when I got here. So there was a lot to learn, and a lot I had no idea about. There's still a lot I have no idea about. The repetition and having 2 or 3 classes every day to learn, refine, have it all sink in, that investment and the growth that I've had, I think has just been tremendous. And I would really love to go back and spend another year in classes and then come back and experience another, real rapid amount of progress, in another 2-week period. Weeks. I'm already thinking about when I could do this again. I would absolutely come back and do it again because it's such a great experience with what I learned and the people that I spent time with that were part of the program, but also just in the community. I felt really at home here. And it's kind of funny. It's not a tiny city. It's over a couple 100,000, but within just a few days, I started seeing people walking about that I recognized, and it just came to feel at home really quickly. And I would come back in a heartbeat, absolutely in a heartbeat, if somebody'd give me 2 weeks off from work again to do it. No question about it.